Welcome back to Indiana News Desk. Well, your morning commute through Bloomington could end up taking a little longer. Last month, the City Council passed an ordinance that will add more than 70 no turn on red signs at intersections around town. Mitch Legan reports.
If you're in tune with Bloomington City Council, you're probably familiar with Greg Alexander.
That's not going to be easy, but you have to do it. You know, we got to walk. Walking is important.
Alexander's a mainstay at local government meetings. He doesn't own a car and has had his fair share of close calls with vehicles around town, so he spent the last decade plus advocating pedestrian safety. But he says it hasn't produced many results from city officials.
You know, about 15 or 20 years now, the city has had these plans again and again and again. And some of them, the plan was weak. It didn't have any teeth in it. And some of them, the plan just didn't happen.
That's why he was excited to hear that Bloomington will be adding more no turn on red signs around town. He's been hit by cars 3 times, once by one turning right on red. So to Alexander, the signs are a small but solid step toward a safer city.
It's so exciting to see somebody actually trying to make it actually happen.
Kate Rosenbarger is the city council member who sponsored the ordinance.
This ordinance came about with some council members just talking to each other about ways we could make it safer for people biking and people walking.
The ordinance will add nearly 80 no turn on red signs around downtown and at busy campus intersections. Rosenbarger says the additional signs will reduce the likelihood of crashes. When turning right, you're often looking to the left to keep an eye on oncoming traffic. That can mean you don't see the pedestrian crossing when you start your turn. This corner at South Washington and 3rd Street is one of the intersections that'll be getting a new no turn on red sign. Early 2020, an IU law student was killed here when a driver turning right on red didn't see her crossing the street. Since 2015, rights on red have led to 5 pedestrians being struck by vehicles in Bloomington. Rosenbarger says the ordinance's purpose is twofold. It'll make things safer for pedestrians and might encourage people to choose options other than driving.
If we can make better options for folks, then they're more likely to say, hey, this is a great day to be walking and I feel safe doing it.
The report from the City Traffic Commission pitches the signs as a way to advance Bloomington's comprehensive and transportation plans. It'll improve pedestrian access and prioritizes safety and accessibility over capacity. So, is the city just trying to make it harder to drive downtown?
I mean, I guess I pretty openly say I want to make it inconvenient to drive. I don't want to say ever that you can't drive. I want folks to be able to pick a different option, and I want them to feel safe and happy doing it. So I don't think we're at a point where people are choosing walking and biking as much as we need. So it is about pushing for better options for people walking and biking.
City estimates put the cost of the plan at about $8,000. Rosenbarger says after spending so much time and money focusing on drivers, it's important to continue improving infrastructure for pedestrians. That also makes the city greener.
In the past couple years, we opted to spend $50 million on 2 brand new parking garages. I would not mind seeing $50 million spent on infrastructure for making it a lot safer for people biking and people walking and really increasing connectivity throughout the city.
The ordinance has received some pushback from drivers, but staff reports say the impact will likely be minor and most felt during off hours, when traffic isn't bad to begin with. As someone who was born deaf, Ayana Dandridge says more signs will make her more comfortable downtown with her young kids.
They usually forget about that, and single mothers with like 2 or more kids, kids get away from you. They try to run across the street before you do. So the signs would really help.
As for when the signs will start going up, the city didn't plan for the project in its 2021 budget, so it likely won't be until next year. But advocates are excited to see city officials taking steps to make Bloomington a greener, more pedestrian-friendly city.
It's such a valuable step to acknowledge that we don't just need to build the sidewalk, we need to slow down the cars.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Mitch Legan.